Hi, everybody. This is AG.
IJ,
CB.
welcome back.
It took me a half an hour.
My hair happened.
Yeah.
I had
It literally took me a half an hour.
It's been the same. It's been for months, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure if I go back and watch any of the old episodes, it's gonna look like a whole different
Yeah, there was.
person.
It was like just after you
He is
moved
Lion Man
out, you like
now.
shaved all your hair.
Yeah, I shaved right after I moved out, and then I didn't.
He is Lion Man now.
Yeah. It took me a half an hour to figure out how I can get the camera
There.
working,
Now it's
Your
me.
chat
and
now? Well, you
unfortunately,
were
I
Jack
have to
Black for a
record this
second
in
there.
like 440p.
That's
So-
a whole through 439 more than I have.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like, we wanted to talk a little bit about Pokemon Sword and Shield. We did a video before, but CB wanted to do a video idea as well. So, me and IJ gave our general opinions of it, but
It's gonna be
CB didn't.
great. I'm gonna love it.
Score bunny, fire fighting,
You can have
fighting.
it, man.
No, it's gonna be
I'm
fire
a-
electric, and it's
I'm
either
gonna
gonna be
be
fire
Electric is already a starter type, they can't use it.
or fire steel and make people upset.
Could have another Meltan. Or not
Yeah.
Meltan, Heat Ran, that's his name. Heat Ran.
Yeah, and it's like,
Which wouldn't be too bad. It'd just be quad weak to ground.
I know.
although if it was fire,
But you can
fire
offset that
fairy, and they did
easily,
something
though.
like the Jade Rabbit or something, that might be nice. Make it like
Yeah.
a lunar
Fire
rabbit,
Fairy would be interesting because it would have an answer for the steel type it's normally weak to.
which would mean that if they had water,
Yeah, it would. That would
Like-
be a really.
fire fairy, water ghost, and then
I don't know if water
and then
goes because
grass,
Sobble.
a grass steel or grass.
I'm putting my money down that Sobble is either
I
gonna
wanted to
stay
turn the
water.
This monster.
Which is weird because that hasn't been a
Or-
thing since like Generation 4,
Gen-
5.
Snivy.
Yeah, Snivy.
Yeah, Snivy.
There hasn't been
ran
a-
Snivy. It was really.
I thought you meant water type, and there hasn't been a
No,
pure
no.
water type since Gen 2.
Oh yeah, but I was saying there hasn't been a pure
A
It does not
monotype.
get a secondary typing since Snivy
Yeah.
in
Well,
any of the starters.
because monotype Pokemon are
Are
both
terrible.
better. Well, they can be better. For
If
example,
you run them right. If
like,
you get the right
a
one.
mono electric Pokemon with Levitate taking Electros into account here is strictly better than electric flying. Because sure, the flying gets rid of electric's
But
immunity
then
to
it
ground
also
like
has
flying like
Weakest
Levitate
to
was.
Flyer.
No, flying's not weak to fire. It's weak to ice and rock
Oh. I don't
Yeah.
know why I've thought it's weak to
and
fire.
electricity, but you know.
Maybe that was the case in the first generation, but
Mhm.
not since.
I don't know.
Either way,
Oh,
like
that's because that's the case in Pokemon Shuffle. That's why I was thinking that.
Pokemon Shuffle fire is strong against flying?
Yeah.
That's some dumb.
Hey,
If by that logic,
They're all
water should be strong
monotype.
against it too, because if it's not a duck, it should be weighted down by the.
so if she weighs as much as a duck, she's a witch.
Burn her. That's
Yeah.
why she's weak. That's why it's weak to fire.
Well, every Pokemon is monotype except for some of the Megas, which change their typing when they.
No, there's a lot of Pokemon that are double
in
type,
Pokemon
right?
Shuffle.
Oh, okay.
In Pokemon
I thought you meant
Shuffle, they're
Pokemon like
all
period.
monotype.
There's a lot of Pokemon that are just hatched that are specifically two types at once. I mean,
Oh yeah,
look
it's
at
nuts.
like right off the top of my head, Sawaddle, grass
Yeah.
bug.
Or Pidge, or Pidge.
Any regional
but
bird.
then again, anything that is like normal flying, you would just consider a flying type.
No, because it is now neutral, not resistant to fighting. Because normal is
Oh,
weak
yeah.
to fighting, but flying is not. Flying resists, but half
So it
plus
cancels it
times
out.
2
I
is
know,
neutral.
but it's almost
And then also, all regional birds, except for Talonflame, are immune to Ghost.
Because they're normal.
I guess that
types.
makes sense.
So, but yeah. So,
Yeah, that normal typing protecting against ghosts is actually
Yeah.
kind of useful.
and honestly, it's because they're pretty normal. They're just birds.
It's actually
There's
why-
nothing special about them.
It's
It's
why
why there's
in-
only one mono flying type in the game, period. And that's Tornadus Therian form.
Okay, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
which one? I
No?
I know you were right on that.
It's the one that's the vulture that's in the egg. Wasn't that was pure
Volbeat?
flying?
No, dark. She's
Dark flying.
She's dark
Oh,
flying.
weird.
So
I
is
thought that was
her
pure
evolution.
flying.
I also can't learn to
Man.
fly.
Yeah, it's really dumb because I based my entire team
School
around the
diaper.
need for a flying.
You have to
and
evolve
I
it.
chose Volby, and I was like, I need flying now. I can't wait for this one because I had black. Did black have
Black had Volibee in it.
Volby? Yeah.
But like, I don't know why you went for Volibee when you could have just gone for Arcan, which is just like a strictly better flying type. In
What did
Gen
I
5.
use as my flying type?
Archeops is like one of my favorite flying types.
Archeops is actually legit good. Just like Lapras is the scariest thing in the fucking world.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
I'm currently
I want
using that.
Sobble to turn into a Loch Ness monster.
I firmly believe Sobble's
Or-
gonna go ice. Water ice.
That'd be cool. I'd like that. I'd
Judging
appreciate
by the fact that that Grookey is based off of the monkeys on the Tower of London, it's probably going to be rock or steel.
I
that it
have
turns into.
tried to find stuff about that. I have not been able to find any sources.
It's weird
on
because
that.
like anyone who's like British that talks about Pokemon instantly points that out, and I'm like, oh okay,
I still say it's gonna turn into Sun Goku. It's gonna be grass flying.
it could be cool.
Yeah.
I think,
we
and the
haven't
only
grass
reason,
flying?
well, the only reason I think it's gonna be grass flying is to do with Tropius.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I think a lot of people want it to be grass flying because Decidueye got cheated out of the grass flying by becoming Grass Ghost.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like that because very rarely, Rowlett's line is one of the only lines in Pokemon where the secondary typing changes in the middle of already having it. Some Pokemon add, typings, but it's very rare for a Pokemon to change typing without being a specific branched evolution.
I had a Primarine. I had a Primarina, and I just used him as my
Incineroar.
tank the whole game. I was
Primarina
like,
was
this
pretty
is
tanky.
unexpected.
I
I
picked the
appreciate
bird.
this.
Of course you did.
You
Then again,
couldn't not
Generation
pick the
3 is
bird.
the only one, is the only generation in which I did not pick grass first because I picked Torchic.
I'm wondering now with my hair if I should make it up into like a Pyroar.
Oh, your
You should-
hair.
You could go as what's the name of that guy who was the boss of Team Flare?
Lysander?
Yeah.
My trump card? Get banned in the CCG for
No,
unlimited.
his hair is not not anime pointy enough. It's just
We can
regular
fix that.
curly.
Yeah, with enough gel and why?
More gel than the entire Kaiba Corp.
A third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Watch out or I will stab you with Joey's chin.
Hey,
Or
it's good. Stop. Never do that again.
Or
Whoops.
Tristan's
Chill.
hair.
Tristan's hair as a monkey.
And then you watch the original movie from season 0, and you're like, "Who the heck is this girl?" It's like, "Oh, that's Tristan's girlfriend." What?
So,
It's like,
What a
he had a
sweetheart.
girlfriend. It's like, yes, and that was still a thing in the
long-going relationship.
comics, and then they just forgot about her when.
so back to the
When
other
Serenity-
action-packed Japanese merchandise-fueled mania craze in Pokemon. My idea is we're going to go over unused type combinations since we have, as of recording of this video, 2 days until a special Pokemon Direct where we hopefully get any information on Sword and Shield because we haven't heard
They'll probably
anything
come
for
up
like
tomorrow.
a year.
Other than
It'll probably go
memes.
up tomorrow, so it'd be like one
Yeah.
day from the recording of this.
Either way, it's in
Whenever
the
you
future.
see this, it will be before the thing, but you probably won't see this till afterwards, so you can come laugh at how wrong we were.
We're gonna be
Mostly because
I'm-
probably no one will
I'm
watch this
going
until
to
like
be
a
the
year
most
that
horrendous-
some
Anything-
dedicated person will be coming back to my backlog.
If anybody is watching this in the future and we were right about anything now or in the future, tag us. I want to sue. So, I have a list here.
I
You
will
will
let
get
you-
exactly 3 Poké dollars.
Hey, that can buy 1/10 of a Premier Ball. Thank you very much. So, this list is courtesy of PokemonDatabase.net, and I will go through the article here of unused type combinations. There are 18 elemental types in the Pokemon games currently, as of recording this video. Who knows? We might get sound type or light type or
I
whatever
doubt it.
Coca-Cola type they want to throw out
People
there.
really wanted nuclear type, and I'm like, no.
No, we had
What are they
Pokemon
doing?
Uranium and it was done. Nuclear. The thing with nuclear is it acted like Shadow Pokemon. It was times 2 to everything,
for the
but everything.
Coliseum?
Yeah.
Basically,
nuclear
everything
would
did
love
double damage,
that.
but everything did double damage to it. And
Yeah,
it's so it was
nuclear
basically a
typing.
double-edged sword
Yeah, yeah.
Pokemon.
Nuclear moves could only be learned by nuclear Pokemon, so it always had stab. but also meant that you couldn't do janky stuff because it was like shadow moves being only learned by shadow Pokemon, and the fact that nuclear attacks always did double damage regardless of the Pokemon's type, unless the other Pokemon was nuclear, in which it did neutral damage. But nuclear Pokemon with that type take double damage from any non-nuclear attack, and they're not immune to anything. They lose all immunities, which means a ground nuclear type was weak to electric. But they also had nuclear moves that
That'd
most
be a
time
cool
couldn't KO.
moveset to work.
Download
and it
Pokemon
could-
Uranium.
I like the idea of
Pokemon Uranium, the
sound
third Pokemon I ran into was a shiny.
I like
Great.
I like sound typing because it would mean that the Whismur line would then become normal.
Yes,
sound.
but like the point is that they're normal because sound is a normal thing in nature. It's why Chatot normal flying.
Yeah, and it's the entire idea that like normal's big thing is sound. It's why
The Whismur
Audio,
What's it called?
Audio.
Sound.
Noiver.
Explode
Noiver is the only one
Red.
who does isn't.
What's the one where it's like they send out like a sonic sound and it confuses?
You mean like
That's
all the
supersonic.
Zubats?
Supersonic, that was it.
That's only a normal move because they wanted it to affect everything. Except Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. So why don't we start listing them off?
Before we go through though, with 18 elemental types, that means we have a possible 171 unique combinations. I believe that also includes monotype, like a mono fire, like Charmander.
Then again, if there was, and
so-
we've only gotten a single mono flying, so that also counts.
So this list is not only going to be unused, we'll go through the unused first. After the unused, we're also going to go through the list of Pokemon type combinations that are only on legendary Pokemon, and
Torpedo
then
was water dark, right?
Mega only.
Right.
It was just
I was
water.
like, because like a water dart is on like 3 mega.
Oh, I'm thinking
it was
of
Mega only.
Garchomp. I like.
Garchomp is cool. Dragon Ground
I
is pretty
thought-
good. But we're also going to go through typings that are only found on Megas. So if a typing only exists when a Pokemon's Mega, that's also going to be one we're going to discuss. So what we're going to do is we're going
Gyarados was
to...
also
Oh,
water dark.
Sharpedo normally is dark water type.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the plan is I have a list right here, and I'm going to assign everybody, starting with AG, a type. And then they are going to have 30 seconds to think of a Pokemon that specifically we're going to be focusing with Sword and Shield right in the corner, a Pokemon of that type that can exist in the Galar region.
Okay.
It can evolve. You don't have to think of a name, and you don't have to think of evolutions. You can just say whether it evolves or not, and if you want to, how it evolves.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that, and then we'll move on down
We're
the
gonna
line
keep going down the line until
we're done with all of them.
Okay.
Dibs on that one.
So yours, the first one is going to be normal ice. Now, for reference, this also includes the opposite. This does not care about primary typing. So,
But there's
if-
very rare chance that normal is the secondary type. I think it
well,
only
it
happened on
won't
a
matter.
single Pokemon.
If I say a normal steel Pokemon, which
Most people
Yeah.
would say normal and then steel.
yeah, well, if you're gonna
Normal
if you're
feels
gonna
like a primary type,
if,
like
if,
flying
if
has
I
never
give
been
you
primary
normal
type.
steel, you can also say the Pokemon steel normal because that's still the same combination.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just the primary characteristic of a Pokemon is what will determine more of the theme of the Pokemon. A Pokemon that is water ice is going to be more aquatic looking than an ice water type, where it'll probably look more icy. But its weaknesses, resistances, all that kind of stuff will stay the same because secondary typing, it doesn't matter where it is. It more just matters for design. So yours is going to be normal ice. So you have
It'd be a 2-stage evolution.
here you go.
First one is that it's like a ferret, and then
Wouldn't
the
it be more
second
like
one it puffs
Never
up and it
mind.
starts
Yeah.
getting the color pattern of a scarf.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That can fit Galar.
We already know that there's going
Because,
to be
you
an
know,
ice-like area, and they have to
well-
evolve a Pokemon that has a scarf because
With-
that's just a thing in England. So
Well, also with Galar region being that, it wouldn't be fair to be a Stoat.
maybe.
Or maybe an Ermin.
Hopefully, it's not the potato Pokemon like from that one leak.
No, I prefer it's going to be B.
I love that bee.
And then there's going to be
bee.
Tooth.
It's just like bees that take.
There's
together.
also
Great.
Tooth, Teeth, and Threef.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh, I don't like that
I
one.
So-
love that one. That one was good. I was
So,
I love
laughing.
Hugh and then Human.
And then it was man, woe man, and whoa man.
Yeah.
Also known as Fish Bunjin. So next we have normal poison.
I love poison type Pokemon.
So
you
what
know
would
how much I adore.
what would a normal poison or poison normal type Pokemon in the Galar region be?
Okay, so it would be a first stage Pokemon, and it would evolve into something that changed its typing. How I see it is poison is kind of a one or the other thing. It's either really gimmicky or really deadly, depending on the moves it has. So I can see something along the lines of it being like a fungus or something.
That would
Like
kind of be
more of a
plant, but
fungus
some
in
people.
the town area?
That's the thing. A lot of fungus type Pokemon like Moral or Parasect have grass type. Fungus is considered grass.
Well, I could see it being more in like the town area, so it wouldn't exactly
Oh, so you're
be
talking
connected
about
to...
like almost like a mold, like Pokemon.
Yeah.
That could work. There's a couple kinds of like slime jelly molds that would work for like
Yeah.
a
Like
town park. Or
like a
something.
wood Pokemon that like at first almost like Do you know what it would be? It would be a Galar version of Swoodo that would start at in which it
It
would
tries to
evolve
become
into a
telephone
normal
poles?
poison because it would look like wood, but then it would
Be a
turn into
Bonsly
like
first, and
it
then
would be like a
turn
piece
into,
of like
telephone
birch,
pole?
like flat wood that like has mold on it.
I guess you could do something like that.
Yeah.
But then again, you would probably do a lot of other things than just have it be poison.
So
Yeah.
the next
That's like trying to like,
Poison's a hard one when you're trying to detach...
especially
there's
when
a
it's
lot of
with
options.
normal. We have so many few normal and then secondary types that's not flying. I mean, like one of the only types is Drampaw, and that was like
that was normal dragon.
that was
Yeah,
normal
I
dragon,
would've
and it's
whacked
like
one.
it's a pseudo legendary, so it's
No.
like
The pseudo legendary of Gen 7 is Jangmo, Como, and Hakamo.
Yeah.
right.
So the next one for me.
Really
Well,
crazy.
I thought it was like in the area like Lapras that like they don't evolve and you gotta get very
No.
few of them.
Pseudo legendaries are specifically have to evolve.
Oh, okay.
They have to
We're
evolve,
talking about
and
the
they're
pseudo legendary dragon type.
No, it does not have to be a dragon type. Lucario is a pseudo legendary because its stats make it a pseudo
By the way,
legendary.
I hatched Riolu in Pokemon Go the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the next one for me is going to be normal bug.
Ooh.
This one actually is super easy. It's just going to be a house centipede.
Oh.
Those are
Oh,
super
you mean
common.
like the 5-foot long one that Vinny ran into?
No, the ones that look like a feather.
I can see it. Those are cool.
That one
They're
specifically.
really creepy to see for the first time, but they're
That
really
one wouldn't evolve, but it would also be a very slow, but still
More
it'd be a mixed defensive, but not good on HP. Bugs are not good with HP.
No, you wouldn't expect it.
You have to have
Yeah,
a very
they're basically
specific bug,
sort of
like
glass cannons. It's why-
Araquanid or Golisopod that have
That's
enough.
why most bugs have poison type moves because they do
They come out.
put the
Do
the
some
dot
poison and they
attack,
die.
and then they die.
Yeah. So we got that one. So the next one we're gonna go to normal rock. Ice cream man.
Are you sure that that's not there? I thought Rockruff was normal rock.
No, just rock.
Oh. Well, I think the
Or it might
one
even
thing-
just be normal and then turn to rock.
Yeah, I think that that's mostly our ideas that are
Okay,
like
yes, it is just normal type.
And then becomes rock when it becomes.
oh, and then it becomes pure rock. Weird.
Yeah.
Because I thought it would be something something like that though. It would be like
Yes, and it changes to rock immediately
Just
after.
rock. It loses normal
and then it
because
becomes rock dark in the
No,
No.
it's just rock.
none of the Lycanroc forms changes typing.
Oh right, it's more of a defensive form than an offensive.
No, actually. The dusk form, the middle between is the defensive form.
Oh, okay.
The midnight
Oh.
form is more aggressive, but the main one is faster.
Oh,
The day form is faster.
speed
It's-
defense
It's
attack. I always
why
forget about
it's
that, right.
it's why its main attack is Excel Rock, the
that's fair.
Aqua Jet for rock.
I think if I would have to come up with something different, it would be a rock type that's sort of like a small little like golem, and then it would be like a more like fully humanoid one that gains normal when it evolves.
I can see that, yeah.
It becomes more humanoid, you know?
I can see that.
You could also see it as like rock, and then it gains fighting or something. So like one of those two.
Get normal rock to like fighting rock. We've seen that sort of before with normal fighting with Pancham turned dark fighting with Pangoro.
Yeah.
Next one, normal ghost.
Normal ghost. Oh, this is a good one. A Bogart.
Oh, a boggart, really?
Mm-hmm. That's the best
Like
fit
a
for
haunted
it.
dresser?
It would,
Almost like a
it
Galar
would-
form of Cophagrigus.
Uh-huh. And it would
But in a
change
wardrobe
based
that
on
leads
the
to
object.
Narnia.
Just saying, I would
And
make
it would
that.
have
I
the
would make
terrain
that.
of
If
that.
that
No,
was a thing.
absolutely. If they came out
Like,
and said
here's the thing.
Galar Cophagrigus, but instead of turning into a sarcophagus, it's the wardrobe from Narnia with
Yeah.
a boggart inside, 100% on my
And
team
then
yeah.
Jesus
right now.
pops out. Oh wait, no, that's just C.S.
Aslan.
Lewis's books.
Yeah. I can see it having, if it's going to have an evolved form, it would have a smaller form to it.
Well,
That it would look.
if you're gonna make it a boggart specifically, I think what it would have to have is it would have to have a special ability.
It would
in
have
which-
to have a terrain effect.
It would have somewhat similar to pixelate or refrigerate or
Let me put that on
aerolize
the
or
rest.
something like that, where it turns a normal type.
No, with the rest.
It'll turn a normal move into another type. Specifically, what it should do is it should turn any normal type move into a typing that is strong to the enemy's primary type.
Yeah,
Which it shouldn't be
have
for
the
both.
fear
It
effect.
well, it shouldn't have specifically.
I mean, it would
It
fit with
shouldn't
the
go
sort of
for both,
mythology.
because if we look at something like electric flying, it would then try and turn the normal move ground to counter the electric. But being flying, it'd be immune, so you'd have to strategize around it, in which suddenly your normal moves wouldn't
Like it
work.
would base it off of the
Of the
first
primary type only.
I can
Which
see
would mean
it like
flying types might actually affect it really hard.
No. The only thing that flyings are become immune to is ground. And for something that has multiple, for example, if you're going against like a fire type, it's going to randomly choose its typing as water, rock, or ground.
I could see this
I guess.
Pokemon also having the move mimic.
It would have mirror move.
Mirror move?
It would
Okay.
definitely have mirror move. I would say if it had a secret ability, like a hidden ability, might take Ditto Shtick and get Imposter,
Yeah.
where it'll instantly turn into the opponent's Pokemon on turn in.
But it has a type that counters it.
No, it would just be straight
Well,
Imposter.
it would have to be one. or the
Imposter,
other, I think.
Imposter is just as an ability is just the move transform, but you use it on switch in, where it automatically happens. So the moment you throw the Ditto in, it immediately becomes the Charizard without wasting a turn.
That's pretty neat.
So
Yeah,
I
so
don't
that's
use
my
Ditto.
idea for.
next
use
one
Ditto, so I
is
know
going
that.
to be normal Steel.
Ooh.
Normal Steel could fit quite a bit in the Galar region. What
We're
I
gonna see a lot
think
of those, maybe.
normal Steel would most likely be a trash can.
I can see that.
It would then evolve, and I will check this one off the list later. It will evolve into a Poison Steel.
That's amazing.
I still think Poison
Such a
Steel
good
could be a
idea.
pen.
It could be a pen, a syringe, or a trash can. We already have trash Pokemon with Garbodor, but that's in a trash bag, whereas
Big.
I would have the trash can on my team.
It would-
I
it would be a
name
trash
it
can.
Benny, and I would just have it on my.
I
team.
also think it should have a split evolution.
Name it Waifu.
It should have a split evolution where it can either become Poison Steel and become a normal trash can, or Grass Steel and become recycling.
That would be.
Nice.
That would be
And it
cute.
would give us a non-legendary, because screw Kartana, non-defensive Pokemon as a replacement on team for Ferroseed and Ferrothorn if you don't want an area trap Pokemon, because a lot of people run.
I just realized I never turned the light on.
We didn't really need it. We had natural lighting. Now I just
Natural
look.
light.
God, you can see how pale I am. Ooh. But I think we could go with that. So we can also mark Poison Steel off. So the next thing we're going to go for is probably the most talked about, if not the second most talked about type combination that is
Oh,
unused.
that doesn't work. You can't actually like. Oh, okay.
if we're gonna go for
effect with your head.
if we're going to have unused typings, this is probably the most talked about, if not the second most talked about type. Fire grass.
That'd be an interesting type combination.
Like
Does it
there
have
were
any weaknesses?
there were three things that people have said, and all of them have to do with them managing a plant that has something to do with its spicy or burning nature.
Like a pepper. But
Like a
again,
pepper.
we want this to fit in the Galar region. So the normal pepper can't work because peppers aren't grown in England.
It could be a pixie. Like, hear me out. There's a lot of misconceptions with fae and like pixies and fairies. They're
The
completely
problem
different.
is it would be fairy type. That's the problem because pixies are fairy types. Look at Klefki.
Yeah.
Klefki is a brownie
Well, I
that has
know.
possessed an item. It is fairy type and steel because of what it possessed.
So
I
we'll
think what
probably
they
see
could
Klefki.
do,
So
though,
what would you do
is-
for a fire grass Pokemon that would work in the Galar region, which is not quite England?
It would start out as like this sort of like grass, a sort of like grass type that is kind of like a like almost like a potted plant. And then its evolution is that it becomes a bigger potted plant. But you see, it's like but you see like the grass starts like yellowing, and then the final one is it becomes like a almost like a bush that's on fire.
Would that fit for England though? That's the thing.
Well, how else would you do it for England?
It would be like a house plant. It would basically be like a house
Very
plant.
easily. Plants vs. Zombie already did it. A burning stump.
Burning-
Torchwood. Doctor Who.
Nice.
Maybe, but it's like I just had the idea of having like this really cool house plant that like eventually it just erupts into flames. It's like, oh cool, nice weed
Also,
plant.
I mean, potentially,
It's a little bit sticky here.
Galar forms Sunflora.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Give Sunkern a reason to exist.
Besides being cute.
Ooh.
What's
This one's for you. Fire Ice.
Fire ice.
Hot
Fire
pocket.
Ice. Get out.
It's the old running joke of the internet that the fire ice Pokemon is a hot pocket.
It's a tube of Icy Hot or Bengay.
I'd have to go something like a troll for this one.
Really?
Yeah. Because my brain's just not coming up with anything else other than that. Like, or something like... something almost Norse. Like, what's his name? I can see this being a solitary evolution, and it being, like, something like a legendary of sorts. Because, like, this is something that you don't give to the player.
Yeah, I mean, they
like,
save
right off
fire
the cuff.
water. They save fire water for a legendary. That's how
Yeah.
special it is. I can easily see fire grass being the same way. The only starter type combinations that we've had that
yeah, just like
aren't-
have a massive forest fire like on the back of a Pokemon maybe. When it
I
comes to
mean-
legendary.
like Torterra almost.
Yeah. Torterra, but it looks more
Torterra,
metal.
but on
Like
fire.
a Tarrasque or
Torterra, but it's
something,
metal.
Torterra, but it's on fire.
Yeah.
and not dying.
For the fire ice, though, the only thing I can think of is like something to make fun of freezer burn.
Yeah, Game Freak would do something.
Like it would go
about
ice, and then ice fire.
Yeah.
ice, baby.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so that's fun bet for it.
Okay. So mine is going to be Fire Fairy. That is super easy. We already have a Pokemon type based on it. We make something a Will-O-Wisp
Oh,
as
yeah.
as it.
It's your best bet.
Very very easy to do as Will-O-Wisp. With Will-O-Wisp being a fire type move, but while it is learned by ghosts, I do have to say that the Will-O-Wisp in itself is described more as a fairy than a spirit. It is not a spirit. It is it is specifically described as being a fairy light. So I can use that. Or another thing you could do, the fact Peter Pan is part of is part of England. Very easily you can make it like a pixie in a lantern,
That'd be kind of neat.
where it's a lantern with pixie wings, where there's a pixie inside as the flame,
That's really cool.
as like a little almost like an oil lamp floating through the air.
Did you
can easily
see?
do something like
Did you see the 130? Did you see the 130 like Pokemon list that was like leaked?
Yeah.
And it's like Grookey stays grass. I'm like, no, this is fake.
No, yeah, incorrect.
Yeah,
They're not gonna do it.
absolutely. Not
Oh,
with
but
that one.
down there, do you
If
know
it
what
was
one of them
Sobble, I
was?
could see it, but
A
not Grookey.
dark normal monkey called Twinkape. That like has like a constellation like thing as
I
it
know,
goes there. It's
they
like
have something
I don't
twink.
think they would ever name a
They're not gonna
Pokemon
say something
Twinkape.
twink in England. Oof. Okay.
That'd
The
be what's
English guy
called
I was
a bad
watching
move.
like
I'm
react to it, he just
interested.
started laughing like really hard. He's
I'm
like,
interested
"They're never
to
gonna
hear
do
what
that."
you think of this one and what you'd make of it. Electric fighting.
Electric fighting. That would be kind of interesting. Have him be like a speed boxer. You know,
Almost like an evolution of Hitmonchan.
in a Alolan form of Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee,
That are both
in which
electric.
Hitmonchan becomes electric and Hitmonlee becomes water. Sorry, not water.
Fire?
Yeah, it becomes fire.
That could be interesting. More firefighting. Everyone wants firefighting,
Yeah,
right?
he starts like his feet start rotating fast enough that he starts
He's
doing
just Sanji.
that he starts doing like he starts like lighting his foot on fire with it, and
Diablo
the
Jambre.
punches are so fast that they're causing like lightning. That would be really
Punching,
cool
like,
looking.
making thunder from
Yeah.
Thunder Punch. Okay.
Like, just think that would be really cool, and that would be like my and I would use like both of them if I could. Because
Okay.
I could see in my head like Hitmonchan getting like a bandana and like looking almost like Ryu. And then Hitmonchan
So,
looking
next
like,
one.
looking like Ken.
Is going to be for you. Electric poison.
My
this-
dream type. This is what I have wanted since the beginning.
What would an electric poison type be?
I could see this going one of two ways. One, it's a mouse, like
So another
more,
Pikachu
sorry,
or
more rat-like.
So it's
More
like
rat-like.
it's like the that region's Pikachu or Pichu or
But it's
Puzzlemon
more of
or
like a plague
Pachirisu
rat
or a
looking.
Molga or a Dedenne or a Togedemaru.
Yeah.
But it looks more
But
like a
it
plague
deals
rat.
more with health, and electric would be the secondary typing, because I could see it working out that way.
Like a bubonic computer virus.
Yeah. And it mostly just chews on like
Bubonic
house
EXE.
house
Bubonic.exe. Oh no.
What would its name
Or
be?
we could go-
California. Oh no.
Or yeah.
Well, there's
so,
a lot
so that
of
would
tech,
be the best
and
bet.
currently
if-
the bubonic plague has been seen in California, which is terrible. I feel so bad for
So you'd have it
Yeah.
be
I'd have
a
it be
mouse
a
that's
rat.
electric poison.
Yeah, I would have it be more rat-like though, instead of like being like a cute little like choppy
He's
cute
more of a
rat.
guy, like,
It'd be like more like
Next
sallow
one.
and like
Is going to be. Ooh, I've actually wanted to talk about this one. Electric Dark, for me.
that's a good one.
Electric Dark could be a lot of things. It could be a light bulb turning on and off. It could be, a lot of things. I think honestly this one has to be. I wouldn't say like a Galar form. I honestly think that Zebstrika should have an evolution where it becomes Electric Dark.
That'd be cool.
Because as a zebra, it should have.
Zebstrika on my team. And
As a zebra, it should have had dark from the beginning. It should have been normal dark as a little form if they didn't want to make Blitzel electric, and Zebstrika should have been dark. As a zebra, having the black stripes, you have to have the dark. 100%.
It'd be really cool to just have like the darker lines more accentuated.
Sean,
Mm-hmm.
you are up next. Ice Bug. I already have an idea for this one.
Well, one of the ideas you could do is you could have a Galar form of uh, Surskit. Like, what was the name of the like water? The water-
Surskit.
Yeah.
Into
In
Masquerain.
which instead of turning into Masquerain, it gains like a more like haunched legs.
It's not a Galar form, but a split evolution. Then.
Yeah, split evolution in which it now now it's like feet like bend at odd angles and now looks like it's like almost like a daddy long legs, but it's like but it's more like a creepy crawly bug. You know that it's like
Where's the ice type?
it's the type of it's the joke of like you see like a really like weird looking bug and you get a chill up your spine. It's that sort of idea. Where
Interesting.
It's a bug.
So
that's
you say that it would
designed
probably
to-
have the ability to intimidate then.
Yes, it's a bug that is. It's like where that it's.
With
the idea
like-
that it is an
Secret ability, like arena traps, so nothing can flee from it.
Yeah, so it's the idea
Or
that like the
arena
bug
trap or
itself
intimidate.
is like some sort of like terrifying looking bug.
And it came
Probably
from
could
this
have a lot
cute
of
little thing.
paralyzed. Could probably learn mean look.
Yeah.
Probably.
So-
be
So
really
what was your
good
idea?
for shining hunting.
Oh, I was gonna say Galar form of Volcarona and Larvesta.
Ooh, that might be really nice.
I was thinking a Carga Blast because it would have the.
You
ice
have both
type.
on screen and you start playing Hellfire Peaks.
It is a pretty buggy place. So next,
Running at 5 frames per second.
ice poison.
You've been getting a lot of
Ice.
poisons.
Oh,
I
Poison.
just
This is
looked at the
planned.
drop.
This is planned.
It's
I don't
not
know.
actually.
It's
It's
not.
just it's just how everything is lined up with how I'm going through
That's
the
beautiful.
thing.
So.
I'd like to
we-
point out we're just a little over
Could you
halfway
repeat
of
that,
the
please?
unusual. Ice poison.
Ice poison.
Ice
Okay.
poison.
Hear me out. So in Old Norse mythology, there's this. They're one of the ice.
I'm not healing her out.
So you can go like what's it? I completely forget what the entire group is called. It's not the Azir. It's the
Jotuns?
Jotunheim. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It would be like a golem. It would be like a golem, an ice golem, and it just moves like very.
But
it
it's
would
like-
be more.
almost like a zombie storm giant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's big brain think right there.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
me some
man.
ice types.
Ooh,
And some
that's
well,
actually
poison type
spicy.
most.
That's actually
It would look
spicy.
really scary, actually.
I could very
With,
much
like,
see that being
alg-
like a.
with like algae
Just saying,
like dripping
almost
off
like a
of it
drown.
as it
If the-
melts.
Why can't we
And,
have an
like-
enemy team that uses like ice for once?
We're getting there eventually. We've had one for fire. We've had one for ground.
run out
One
of
for
it.
normal and
We've
poison.
had 2 for fire.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, magma.
Magma is ground and rock
Oh right.
They've got camera up too. for
because
fire
it's
type.
ground.
It's fire. Whatever.
It's
yeah, in
ground.
Team Aqua,
Right.
you know, the grass type.
Oh,
So you mean the
oh,
they
oh, no.
they must all be the
My
dark
ribs.
types because all them Poochienas they're
Oh
using.
my ribs, they are
They're nothing before
The space
the
program
ones
worked. My
that-
sides are currently in orbit.
Uh,
So, you have
Yeah,
ice poison. Next one, fighting ground.
I think that one's yours.
Oh, is it me?
yeah, it's you.
Okay, fighting ground. Fighting ground. Fighting ground.
You have a lot of opportunity.
I would normally say a Pachycephalosaur, but we already have that with Cranidos and Rampardos.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what do you
Can I
think?
just say that was a brilliant way to include water rock? Was the fossil Pokemon because
Yeah.
it's like, oh hey, it's like water Pokemon, but it's like really old. So you have
Ground
the element
and-
of rock on them.
Fighting. Ground and fighting. There's a lot of options for this.
There's almost
There's-
too much.
I don't think there's
options.
too much, but there's just enough for it to be hard to narrow down to
Oh,
a
you're moving the camera.
good
Oh.
idea. Because it can either be fighting ground or ground fighting.
Which would change it immensely at that point.
And there's a lot of stuff to go off of, honestly.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit.
I got like 3
I
ideas
just thought
right
of
now.
Diglett coming up and he's all swole.
He's like,
The
"Can you
pillar,
lift
the
raw?"
Pillarmen arise.
It's
It's cars!
it's Diglett, Doug Trio, but like instead it's
And
a
Doug
split
Moore?
evolution, which yeah, it's like
And no,
Doug
it's
Moore.
Dag Moore.
It's
Jag.
Dig, Doug, and Dag Moore.
Yes, the past tense of dig.
Yeah, it's like Digmore, in which he like rises up out of the ground and like the other heads are like shoulders.
You have a thought?
I have a thought.
Ooh.
He has a thunk.
The giant hill writings that also exist in England.
Which they even have in
You
area
could
for-
have a specific, almost glyphic Pokemon made
almost
of
like
dirt.
a goal rock.
Almost like a golem, like, because
But it looks like a cave painting.
well, if you look at a lot of old Jewish mythology, a
You
lot
also
of
have the moving
lot of their-
stones as well.
that'd be rock.
Okay.
Like that used to be rock because those are stones.
Also, how
Ground
are
is
they going to
dirt.
explain Stonehenge moving to France in the Pokemon universe?
I mean, psychic rock.
That's Dems the jokes.
And we win.
But
I
back
could
to
easily
your-
see it being one of like the glyphic Pokemon, almost like an unknown in terms of not being a hieroglyph,
Uh-huh.
but being like the
Oh.
the litholiths almost.
That would actually be kind of interesting if they actually were the like
Celtic script.
Celtic
Like
runes?
the like
no, they're like
well,
the
I think it's-
Nordic runes, but it's like the unknown, but it's Celtic runes.
Those would be more rock because Nordic stuff inscribed in rocks. It has to be something to do with the ground, which
I
is
know,
dirt.
but I was
And I could
was
very
thinking about
easily
that,
say
though.
it being like one of the ground drawings, lifted off the ground, and could fight, and it'd be the ground fighting specifically.
yeah.
That one is a bit harder to do. We'd have to see what the ideas could be for that one.
Because it sounds like the one that they're actually using, the one in Sword and Shield, might actually be one of. I thought that was my phone for a second. I was like, no, those are actual birds.
So next one, for you, fighting fairy
Ooh.
or
Oh.
fairy fighting.
Do we actually have a bug fighting?
Yeah,
Which one?
Heracross.
Oh, because I was like,
Yeah.
I
I forget about Heracross very frequently.
which one did you ask again?
Very
Fighting fairy.
Fighting fairy.
Fighting fairy.
a hard one.
Ooh. Kind of an odd choice, but I'm gonna say that it's not really a legendary, but it's like one of those like near the end of the Pokedex Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a dual type. One is like fairy something else, but this one is fighting fairy, and it's based off of Oberon.
And have fairy flying be Titania.
Yeah.
And have him be deer-like.
That's
almost.
good.
Yeah.
That's big brain things. I didn't even think of Shakespeare.
Oh my goodness! I've wasted so much potential. I could have gone to Hamlet.
Fighting ground. Fighting ground.
Oh.
There's so much stuff in Shakespeare you could choose for that.
I have to throw
Just
in
for
my
Midsummer's
card.
Night's
I have to throw
Dream.
in my card. How terrible am I to have forgot the
No,
big guy?
literally, I have been
himself?
thinking about an Oberon and Titania type like.
And if there was ever a place to see it, it would be
It'd
now.
be Galar. I can
Yeah.
honestly, you know what? I can easily see those two being the box legendaries. One Oberon, one Titania.
It
That
sounds
makes
like it's
sense.
gonna be like one related to the
Oh
glyph.
my
and
god!
one
What if they do? I know we're going to the typings. Okay, hear me out. Okay, Sun and Moon is an inspiration. We have a Pokemon that can evolve into both box legendaries. The box legendaries
It
are
starts
Titanian
out-
Oberon. It starts as Puck.
It starts as
And he's the fair,
It starts
and-
as normal
and he's the
fairy,
fair-
So normal
Fairy
fairy,
fight.
Puck.
Uh-huh.
and then normal gets dropped.
For either
fairy gets
fighting
moved over
or
to-
flying.
It would have to be fairy normal because it's moving to a fairy something else because you're
Oh.
dropping the
Yeah.
normal type.
Oh.
It started as fairy normal.
I am
We could
not worthy.
that'd be
I am
amazing.
not
Like the
worthy.
second I found out that this was going to be England, I was like, there's got to be like some sort of like Shakespearean stuff.
There has to
Okay.
There has
Next
to be.
one for you.
Even though that's technically
Okay.
Italy, but
We're skipping poison steel because we already talked steel poison, which I decided for the normal poison with the trash can. So I'm gonna skip fighting. We're gonna skip steel poison, though we can all agree a pen or a syringe also
Yeah.
works. We can
They're
all be in
going-
agreement of
They're
that.
going.
Addiction.
They're going to go pen though because of the
Shakespeare. It's
censorship.
to be a feather quill
Yeah.
almost.
And for the censorship, they won't have it be a syringe.
Probably.
Yeah.
unless
For
you're that
you,
type of person that
is
really
going to-
wants,
we're gonna be
like, I
sticking
want
with
a
this.
dark Pokemon game that's set in Germany where it's like war-time battle. And it's like, what the heck, guys?
Poison
Mm-hmm.
fairy. A poison fairy.
I've got Shakespeare on the brain.
Spiderwhite Chronicles Intensify.
I'm thinking,
A little like fairy guy with like a little like sword and shield.
no, because that'd be steel.
No, in my
No,
head,
because
I'm
it
like,
could be bone or and walnut.
Hmm.
Remember, they are called blades of grass.
So it's poison.
Fairy or fairy poison.
I was just
Fairy
like a
poison.
small fairy type that's like that. Maybe it's the like pre-evolution.
If
There's-
there's ever a
Pokemon
time to
Titanic,
go
like,
pixie, it would be here though.
A very mischievous pixie one that would cause
Because you definitely wouldn't have it be ghost poison as a pixie.
no. And if you're
No.
gonna have ghost fairy, it's gonna be a changeling. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a Pokemon
It's
that
going to be.
it's gonna have the Zoroark
Feywild,
style.
Yeah.
It's gonna have the Zoroark ability.
mhm.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be ghost fairy. We already have ghost fairy,
Yeah.
so I think
Just saying,
yes.
one of the most useful.
In fact, we're only missing we're only missing 2 possible ghost combinations in the game.
We're going
What's
to
the-
probably get those here.
I was like,
Normal
what's
ghost?
the water ghost? And I'm like, dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah.
Jellicent.
I was like, oh yeah, I forget
the
Jellicent is there.
blobs, the
The-
sea blobs, which
So
were
we
really
have the
cute.
poison fairy. So for me, and this one has actually been looking forward to. This one could either be for poison dark. We already got that with Skuntank and Stunky.
Uh-huh.
Poison psychic.
Oh, is that yours?
It's going to be a paired evolution to Gothitelle and Gothorita in the same vein of it getting small and then turning bigger and more regal. It's going to be a plague doctor.
That'd
I
be
would
nice.
love-
Or it could be one of the witch sisters from Hamlet.
Like the three oracles or something.
Yeah, mhm.
I mean, you could sort of do
I
that
like the
to a degree,
plague
but
doctor
That would be more of like a legendary trio, like in Generation
see,
4.
my thought that it could be is its small form would just be literally just a mask
Their names
with a
would be
hat and
Bubble,
it'd be
Toil of
poison.
Trouble.
Uh-huh.
Its second evolution would look more like a normal plague doctor, though short, and it would be poison psychic. And then the final one would be poison psychic as well, obviously, but it'd be way more regal. But it would be a plague doctor with another plague doctor's mask as a masquerade mask,
Oof.
where it's a plague doctor mask, but underneath is just a bone.
Like in reference to Red Death.
Yeah. Poison psychic, a poison that attacked the mind specifically.
What was the name of the Edgar Allan Poe story with the, was it Red Room?
The scarlet mask.
Yeah.
We could easily do Scarlet Mask, where like the Plague Doctor mask is red in the final evolution. You could easily go with something like that.
I'd love that.
So we're nearing the end. So next one for you,
Mm-hmm.
Ground Fairy.
An evolution of Dunsparce where he gets wings.
Simple. Done. Psychic Bug.
Psychic bug.
I honestly,
Better Butterfree?
I wish I could have gotten this one because of what I know about England's bugs.
I'm
Uh,
trying to think. I used to know this. I used to know a lot more about.
Mega evolution for Butterfree.
No.
No,
It'd be nothing of the sort.
we sort of
It'd
want
be
to
moth-
avoid megas. We want
What?
like
Give me the typing.
honestly, I would wish that-
psychic,
bug,
Psychic.
psychic bug or bug
It'd be
psychic.
a moth.
That's what I was thinking. Death's Head Moth,
It'd
which
be a
while
moth.
Dustox does have that covered already.
It'd be a lot more like Mothra.
Yeah, It could be a lot more.
It would take cues from
prismatic.
Mothra.
I would say easily, with the way 3D rendering is gone for the games, easily just have it have constantly shifting colored wings.
We
Yeah,
actually,
so
we actually
I
got into a
agree with
discussion
Moth.
about Godzilla monsters going up.
Biollante is the
Mothra's my
best.
I was
favorite.
talking with a guy, and I'm like,
Mothra a
why
lot.
isn't Biollante in this movie? And he's like, yes.
Biolante's like one of the best characters.
Really-
He's not a
He's a
really
villain.
cool.
rosebush alligator. It's great.
Yeah, he's really
He's
cool.
got a big
I
red
love
belly that goes
Mothra.
pom pom.
I love Mothra all the way, though.
Besides, we can never forget the time that Godzilla dropkicked something by sliding on its tail. So for me, this one is interesting. Bug Dragon. I have to think of something for Bug Dragon.
That'd be an overpowered creature if done right. No?
Bug's not a strong type. It gets resistances
Well,
to...
just saying Dragonfly would be too easy. You would have.
And we already
something
have
else.
something like that. We have the Bug
We have
Flyers in
several
Yanma
ones.
and Yan
We have-
Mega.
We also
Yeah, but those
have
are like
Flygon too.
Vibrava is obviously a dragonfly in the midst of evolving into a dragon, becoming ground dragon after Trampage.
Wait, stop.
Bug Dragon is a very difficult one to do. Because there's honestly not a whole lot of larger bugs.
Yeah.
The one
You could
thing...
do a fossil though.
I was saying you could try to do like a fossil type Pokemon, but it would need rock. Like
Yeah.
that is sort of the MO
No,
of that.
not always.
Really?
Not
Which
all.
one didn't?
Not all fossils have rock.
I'm trying to remember one that didn't. Is it
I'm pretty sure it was
Anorith?
Anorith. No,
that's,
Anorith was Bug
Rock.
Rock. Anorith and Amaldo were Bug Rock. But I'm pretty sure there is fossils that don't have rock on them. I'm pretty sure at least. I'd have to think through all the fossils again. If we're gonna do Bug Dragon though,
No, that was Rock Planet.
Bug Dragon. Something that would be fitting of the dragon type, but while still maintaining enough to be considered a bug.
But it can't be a dragonfly, because that's already been done. Should we go Shakespeare on this, or?
It would have to be something to do with more of a multitude of smaller dragons.
Oh, kind of like the Wishy-Washy.
Like Wishy-Washy, where the bug is a secondary typing that comes from like a hive-minded swarm of tiny dragons.
So it starts off as like a tiny dragon, and then it goes into dragon.
Almost like a salamander.
Almost like Salamander, but Salamander's way more water dragon or fire dragon. Because Charmander is
Salamander
a
is mostly-
Charmander.
Yeah, salamanders are more closely associated with fire,
Bug dragon
and
is a
newts
bit
are
of the
more
hard one.
closely associated with water.
Like one of the only things I can
mean,
really
it's
think
why,
of when
Sobble
someone
is more of a
like
newt
when
than a
someone
alien.
says bug dragon, the only thing you think of is like a dragon with like
A swarming instinct.
I'm dumb as shit. The moon dragon from old Celtic myths.
Oh.
The dragon with butterfly wings
I'm
and the
insane.
hair that are also antennae. Some would say
Papyrus.
fairy dragon. We could do that, like, you know, almost like ancient fairy dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sure, it can be considered fairy, but at the same time it has bug qualities, and we don't need another dragon fairy. We already have one as a mega evolution, and it's broken.
And they like fixed that. They made that fully dragon. So
Yeah, they fixed it by removing
no,
all
it's still-
Mega
it's-
Stones, please.
Yeah,
do.
they already did that. No more megas. Okay,
Yeah,
so we're
Z
done with Bug
crystals are
Dragon.
a lot better. No, you've broken it harder.
So you have an easier one.
Uh-oh.
Bug Dark.
oh, that's easy.
I don't want to just say Firefly because that would be too
We
obvious.
already have that. Illumise and Volbeat. And they are
Are
only...
they considered Fireflies?
They're fireflies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're considered bug flying.
Well, it would...
I know, they're not even considered flying. They're bug.
Well, my idea... Stop moving the camera.
But it's fun. It's Earthquake. Earthquake time.
No. But my idea would be sort of like a kind of like a Nightcrawler, which is like
You know, like a worm.
yeah, like a either like a worm or like a cockroach, like one of those
Because
like
for the Japanese,
cockroach
anything
work.
that's a creepy, crawly, or anything of the sort is a bug, whether it be a snail or
Yeah.
a kind of insect.
Honestly, the thing with Bug Dragon is I wanted to say snail because of those old.
Well, we got Gudra.
That's the thing. We have the old medieval paintings of knights fighting snails, and I was like, okay, snail dragon, but we already have Sligoo for that.
I know. It's
I
like,
can't wait to see
the
Armored
reason-
Sligoo.
Armored evolutions are not a thing. I'm going on record now. That's dumb. Stop adding extra evolutions like that. Just give us plain Pokemon. No megas.
You equip a sword
No
plate or
Zs.
shield plate, and it
I will actually uninstall.
and it's like it gains more
I
attack
know.
or it gains more defense.
I will actually uninstall.
Do you consider speed to be more of a attacking quality or a
No,
defensive
doing
quality?
armor at all would lower your speed. Because putting on armor makes you heavy.
So if it would be like in like armor would be like defense, special defense, and HP. You know that triangle, and then like an attack one would be HP, special AP, and
I was thinking
speed.
as well for the dark bug type, you could go with a beetle of sorts.
yeah.
but we've already had like
Cockroach.
several beetle types.
Yeah,
that I
but
didn't
there's
really
also a
want to-
lot of kinds of beetles is the thing.
Yeah, especially in Japan alone.
But my idea was like in my head, I saw like an inchworm that has like the like swirled eyes, and it's just like.
That could work.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Oh, that should be really cool.
It'd make some really cute,
So,
creepy plushies of that
The
thing.
next one is going to
50-pound
be for you.
gummy python.
Though I think you already know what this one's going to be. Rock Ghost.
Rock Ghost.
Picks up rock rough. No.
Put that down. Okay. Rock Ghost.
Rock Ghost.
The moving stones.
Easy.
Yeah.
Simple. Could be Stonehenge too.
Yeah. It could be like anything of the sort.
Any sort of ancient
I see
civilization.
it
I mean, look
being
at
either
Golurk was
mid.
ground ghost.
I see it being either
Gurwood
mid
is
game
kinda
or
like
late
the,
game,
root of the-
depending on the storyline.
It's kind of
we're
like
going
runes already.
Yeah, but he was...
It might probably be
Yeah.
kind of prominent up near
It
where the
might
Stonehenge
have
would
an
be.
evolution that connects it to the Stonehenge.
Maybe. So the final one of all the non-use types is Dark Fairy. Dark Fairy could literally just be any malicious
A
It would-
brownie.
fairy.
It would
Brownies
be the
are always
third
malicious.
type with the two box legendaries. Like if we were thinking
could-
Titanium
it-
and Oban, it would be the
It could
third
be the one in the middle. It could be a separate one, which is like...
I don't know what is actually is the
guess
because
it could
Oban
be-
and Titanium are like actual like Celtic like things.
Yeah. I mean, it could be Puck and have like a basic fairy thing be the main
Oh,
one.
very dark. It starts
could
Could
off
be
be-
Puck,
dark
what's
because
and
the
Puck can
name
be
of-
malicious.
Yeah, it could be a shulk dog. Like a black dog.
A
You
Grim?
ever? Yeah.
Hmm.
Food for thought.
it'd be dark fairy then.
hmm
Well, because that fits the theme.
So,
Because like
we have
anything
only
unexplained
a
is in the
few
Feywild.
more types left. So we're back to you, Sean. We're now in types that are only used by legendary Pokemon. This one I am lifting the Galar restriction because it is not a non-use type. It's just a very rare, only used by legendaries, one or two or three of them. Flying,
Just pure flying.
pure flying, no secondary type. And the only reason Tornadus got that was because he became wind itself as a bird.
It's hard to think of something that doesn't literally just be Tornadus. Like it's really hard.
Yeah, that's the point of this discussion, is that this is going to be a very hard thing to think of, because you gotta think this stuff fast. I've given you no time to prepare.
Nah.
I have to see what comes
I
out of your
had
brain
time
right away.
to think about the Bogart because I've been thinking of that for some time. So it's like
The
not.
only thing you got was this morning when I told you this idea, and if you
Uh-huh.
didn't go through the list earlier today to make your own thoughts...
I didn't because I wanted to be on the spot. So.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if it's
Just
pure
flying on its own.
if it's pure flying, what it could be is it would be a two-stage evolution. It would go pure flying and then flying electric.
Okay.
In which it starts out as like a cumulus cloud.
I was thinking
and
of
then it would
clouds,
condense smaller into a storm cloud.
Interesting. You could do
I
that.
like it with like little
There's a lot of
eyes
clouds
and
and
its
there's been a lot of clouds in
and
Galar
it
that work.
evolves and its eyes are
here's
like
the thing.
angry.
The only thing
It has a
People-
side evolution where it becomes flying water, in which it's a rain cloud.
I was
And
gonna say, there's a lot
this
of stuff
is a
with
thing
cloud.
that would be very indicative to England because it's a very rainy country.
Next,
it.
next one.
Oh, do you know what? No, it's a shifting state. It's a shifting state between all three of them.
So like a cast form.
Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah.
a cast form. It would be like
Castron being considered normal because weather
Galar
is normal.
cast form. It's a cloudy, thunder, and rain.
Yeah. So Pacific Northwest form.
And it's why
So
England
next
loved
one-
this place.
So this is only used by legendary. Firewater. Currently
Firewater.
only used by Volcanion.
Okay.
A boiling.
It's really
a tea
hard
kettle.
to see this as anything other than late game.
Absolutely.
But I like that
Absolutely.
idea of a haunted tea cad of sorts. Because that's the only thing
Yeah.
that would work, is something that has the both of them all into one.
Mrs. Potts is pissed. So next one for me is Fire Steel. Now I can go this one of two ways. We could either go off the old blacksmith idea of it being almost like a soldering iron, of like a branding iron almost, as a Pokemon, with like it'd be like a living branding iron with, or maybe even a blacksmith itself, and have like a Pokeball brand sort of thing,
On like
or
a belt of sorts.
Galar Honedge.
That'd be kind of cool.
Nice. That'd be
Instead
really
of
cool.
turning into Aegis Slash after Doublade,
It
the
turns.
shield is the round table and the Aegis Slash is Excalibur is the flaming sword.
It's really good.
That's all I got on that one.
Fairy Steel could also work for that.
A little bit. Oh, here's a good one for you. Only currently used as for legendaries by Zekrom. Electric Dragon. Think of a new Electric Dragon.
Maybe almost like a Chinese dragon.
Yeah. Almost like the one from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. Easy.
Like it would probably be like more coiled around itself, and it would like rub itself against each other to like charge electricity, probably. Because you know, like Chinese dragons usually like coiling around itself.
So, next one. Currently only used by QREM. Ice Dragon.
An ice wyvern of sorts.
Wyvern.
Wyvern.
Like a Galar form of Dragonite.
Almost.
Or a Galar form of like Drampa.
Flygon.
Yeah.
Fly on you. Like a Galar form of any dragon, which it becomes Dragon Ice, would be really cool.
It'd be super
I would use it on the team because I like ice types.
For me, the next one I have to go off of is Fighting Rock. Fighting Rock is actually super duper easy. It would just be a martial artist who just has rock gloves. Almost like, not so much like a sumo.
Almost
but
like almost like a boxer who puts a
boxer?
brick into his
So it's just
boxing
what's his
would
face
be-
from Punch Out then.
yeah, but it's like you can tell that they're bricks.
Hitmonchan with bricks.
You're going
On
down.
Channing Tatum.
Fighting Ghost.
Fighting ghost.
Currently only used. Oh, I didn't mention the Fighting Rock legendary that it is that's Landorus.
A doula.
Or no, not Landorus. Terrakion. Terrakion, that's who it was. Fighting Ghost only currently used by Marshadow.
I feel like that's way too powerful of a typing to be...
Fighting Ghost.
Maybe.
Marshadow wasn't that good with it.
Really.
So,
I mean, sure, it loses hit against fighting normal, which it was resist anyway. You know, it gains a weakness to
so that was a
Ghost.
fighting ghost, right?
fighting Ghost.
A dualahan.
Yeah, I can see that.
Dualahan.
Um,
Where it's just like a thing that's just mostly ghost, and then it can also use.
you have to use the
Fighting
head to
type of-
fight.
Yeah.
Throw the head.
Or it could be something like it's pure ghost, and it's got the thing that the Lucha bird. I forgot his name.
Halucha?
A Halucha has where it says his
Mucha
his fighting moves count as if he has
That's only
fighting
one move.
attacks. Fighting attacks count as if it has stab. You know.
Well, that's how it works. All fighting moves on Halucha have stab.
I know, but it would be like he's pure fighting, but then it's like he can use fighting type moves as if and they would do damage as if he has stab.
But he is fighting.
No. If the Doulahan, which is like just pure ghost, but he like does fighting.
It still needs the type because we already
Yeah.
have pure ghost types in the game.
I know, but it's the idea that it's well, Halucha is kind of like a three-way, has like three typings technically, but that
That's fighting and flying. That's it.
what's the other? You what? Never mind.
Nothing. He has nothing.
He's just really cool,
So-
looking, but I used a Lucario.
Mine is going to be Psychic Ghost.
Ooh, you got lots of options for this one.
Wait, which legendary has that?
Psychic Ghost?
Yeah.
It's Hoopa.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was not a fan of Hoopa.
Honestly, I think I want to go similar to the Hoopa theme. Make it a gypsy. Very popular in the Galar, in Europe, and in France. You know, there's a whole thing of Hunchback of Notre Dame about it. Have a fortune teller.
Maybe.
Nice.
Almost like...
And it has four.
Almost
horns,
like, almost like imagine a Galar form of Alakazam, where instead of spoons, it's tarot cards.
That'd be neat.
Cool.
Where it has the 5 major, past, or like present, future, past, wants and desires, or like desires and downfall. Like the 5 spread that
It
most
would be.
tarots do.
It
for
would
quick.
be like future wants, present wishes, past regrets,
Yeah, you can have those.
and it would like evolve. And its like whole naming convention is it's looking to the future, and its final evolution is looking into the past.
Maybe. It'd be interesting. So we have Psychic Ghost. Now, the next one, currently only held by... Which one is this? I have to go through, like, all the different legendaries
What's the
in my...
typing?
Psychic Dragon.
Who
That
else?
Psychic
is-
Dragon's Lugia.
No.
Oh wait, no,
No,
that's
that was
Psychic Flying.
No, that was flying.
Oh, that's just pure flying.
Flying Psychic.
Flying Psychic. Okay.
No, Psychic Dragon is... God, what is his name?
The one from Pearl.
It's the one...
Nokia?
It's the one with my name in it. Necrozma.
Oh. Psychic Dragon.
Because Necrozma's just my Z Heartless, or my Z Nobody. You're now aware that
Honestly-
Necrozma could be rearranged into Z Cameron.
Okay.
Honestly, like, it would be something like a Chinese dragon again. Like, one that's more of like an astrally projected one.
Yeah. Almost like a constellation dragon. Almost.
Yeah, constellation dragon. That'd be neat.
Next one. This one is only held by Giratina.
Okay.
Ghost Dragon.
Ghost Dragon.
Ghost Dragon.
This is a hard one.
The only thing I can think of, unfortunately, does more with dark, which is like a nightmare
Yeah.
dragon, or like a bone dragon.
But you
Dragolith?
could twist that to make it psychic.
Again, you could do the
You mean
astrally
ghost.
projected one.
Yeah, I guess in a way you could also have like the ghost of the
Cleo.
ancient dragons that knights used to fight.
Yeah.
Mine is only held by Dialga. Dragon Steel, very easy. A very small dragon wearing armor,
Oh, he
With
looks
a
like one
spear
of those
and shield.
cute, like
and it would evolve to be
Like a
better and
pseudo
better.
dragon?
But what I had a thought of is that as this dragon evolves, he grows the Royal Guard hat.
oh,
Or the
it's like a
armor
hat, and then it's
stays
like
the same
double hat, and
size.
then when it now it's
One
like
of
a
them large
full
rat, so he goes from fry cook to manager to super manager.
level 5 crook.
Double 30 boss. So the next 3, and this is easy because it ended with me on the last one, so we can just do, there's one for each of us. These are types which, while shared by a legendary, are also only found outside of that in Megas only. Almost, this one, held by Mega Ampharos. Electric Dragon. You need to think of
We
a...
already said this.
Yeah, but you need to think of another one.
Dang it. It's hard to think of dragons because it's usually like, well, it
It's
has
why
to
there's
be-
not a lot of types of them. If you notice, dragon is the most unused type because it's supposed to be rare.
Yeah. Well, all I could think of is basically like a is some sort of like cosplay Pikachu where he's wearing a knight outfit, where she's wearing a knight outfit and she would be considered like
Like a new cosplay Pikachu.
yeah, a new cosplay Pikachu type.
That'd be spicy.
Like that could be a thing that's just
that could be
that
cool.
you
Because
do
again,
in the
like
game.
apparently, like
Well,
they-
I mean, we've seen stuff of Pikachu dressed as Charizard, Pikachu dressed as Dragonite.
yeah, we've seen a lot of cosplay Pikachu in like secondary like material.
Pokken tournament. Smash.
Back to shuffle. There's like 3 pages in
only-
the index full of Pikachu's, and I have all of them.
Oh boy.
I have all of them. I have all the Raichus too.
Okay, who has this one? I'm trying to remember which Mega has this typing.
Which one?
Psychic Dragon. What Mega has Psychic Dragon? I'll have to
That's
look
yours.
up.
That's yours, Adri.
Oh mine.
Yeah.
It is
I just wanted to get a look at what they'd already used for it.
Mega Latios and Latios.
Oh,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Alright, Psychic Dragon. So,
Because they're
I'd
just psychic
almost
to begin
go
with, right?
something like a Morgana Le Fay type thing. Where it's like a seer, where it's like a seer of sorts, and it's like the Q Beast from Arthurian
I can see
legend
that.
as well.
Absolutely, 100% I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
So the final type, only used by Mega Altaria, is Dragon Fairy. That one, you could use Celtic dragons as like that sort of thing. You can do sort of the wispier small dragons that you'd see that would accompany wizards almost, as like a familiar. But what I think would be the perfect psychic dragon
Psychic Dragon.
to represent the Galar region specifically is a dragon that is made to look like Big Ben.
Maybe.
A lot of times time is pretty messed around with. I mean, the time Pokemon itself has steel for some reasons, but I firmly think of time as more of a psychic thing because time very much affects your mentality. You're always in the rush. You're always under time limit, and time can either help or hinder your mental state. I
That-
could say
that makes
Psychic
me
Dragon
think-
would be a big bet.
Yeah, and it could be like the ghost area where you get lost in there.
I also
And it can,
want
like,
to
be, like, a
congratulate
little
us
camping
for
thing.
going through the entire list talking about Britain, and not once did we make a Pokemon based on soccer.
Because I don't think
we don't
any of us
play
actually
soccer.
like soccer.
It's gonna be Score
we
Bunny.
have-
It's gonna be Score
No,
Bunny.
if
It's gonna be Score
And
Bunny.
there's
He's gonna
going
be
to be a
firefighting, and
soccer-
he's gonna kick like a
There's
carrot
gonna be
ball.
a soccer version of Voltorb. We all know this.
Galar, Voltorb, and Electrode are gonna be.
in which it's grass electric.
Like if that's what they're going to do, if they're going to do it, go full ham. Go hog wild. Just do it.
Volgol. Goltorb.
Goltorb.
That's a good one. Game Freak would absolutely do a pun.
But
of
we
that
also have to
stuff.
talk about we have to have an alcohol type for Pikachu so we can have Pintachu.
I don't think Nintendo's going to do
Also,
that.
we totally need
They may in the anime or the manga, but they won't in the game.
we do need the best evolution for the Galar region, which is What's All, and Distin.
We also need a Monty Python reference of some kind.
I think we need a dark flying Pokemon to replace Murkrow and Honchkrow. And it needs to be a chimney sweep bird.
Yeah.
I like that.
fine with
That's
that.
cute. Yeah.
That
as long as
has-
one bird replaces the other.
Okay. Dark flying, but has the ability flame body.
And it's just got like clogs
Soot
of like
flying
soot
off of
just
it.
off of its
Yeah.
neck, and like evolution looks like just a massive like
Also-
billow of like smoke just
A
like
s-
coming from the nose. And,
Also,
like,
I would not be against a steel dragon, which was a subway.
yeah, that fits.
Maybe.
Especially with the industrial looking area.
If we're gonna
of
go off
Dallas.
Loch Ness Monster, that's obviously water dragon. Easy water dragon.
Oh yeah.
Easy water dragon. Easy claps.
Mm-hmm.
What else could we do for England?
I want Sobble to become a Loch Ness monster though, or for Lapras to get in evolution or small form.
I really hope
I
at
hope
one
Lapras
point.
makes a comeback.
Sobble evolves into Lapras, and it goes, what?
That'd be like the brain melting thing of the century. It's like, what?
Bruh.
Hold up! No one asked for this. Thank you, but no one asked for this.
Sobble's evolving. Congratulations, your Sobble evolved into Lapras. 3 levels later. Lapras is evolving.
That was short-lived.
What else could we have a thing based on?
Oh, I found it.
We need
Horse races.
horse races. Something to do with cogs again too.
I take
I
back
think
one
we're
old
gonna-
thing. Fighting ground would be a horse and its jockey.
Yes. That would be the dual Han Pokemon though.
No, that's Ghost. Because, Ichabod Crane.
Yeah.
Crane Pokemon that's a reference to Ichabod would be pretty good too.
Mhm.
I hope at least.
that's more
I
of an
hope
American
I
telltale.
hope we get a Pokemon that is a bear, where its shiny form gives it a red shirt. So it can be Winnie the Pooh as a shiny.
Yeah.
Also for
There needs to be a
for-
steamboat Pokemon.
Wait,
as
has
well.
there been another? No. I was
what?
looking at this, and it's like, and I was like, of course there won't be a water dragon or a fire fairy as the starter. That would just be mimicking X and Y. It has to be water, ghost, and fire electric. And I'm like, how is that mimicking X and Y?
I don't know. Because it was Fire Fairy and...
No, they literally said that this leak is fake because Fire Fairy had already happened. And I was like, are you serious?
Where did Fire Fairy happen?
Well, so did Grass and Poison.
Like, Fire Fairy has never happened. People are like, oh, but what about Delphox? Delphox was Fire Psychic.
Someone didn't play the game.
It was not Fairy. It was Fire Psychic. And I
That's
know
why
that
it's so cool.
because every starter in X and Y was times 4 weak to the one next to it. Because Fire Psychic is weak to Water Dark, respectively. Water Dark is weak to Grass Fighting, respectively, and
Yeah,
Grass
this
Fighting
was-
is weak to Fire Psychic, respectively.
This was the leak we were talking about last time. You could scroll down and look through it.
Oh, those are so fake.
I mean, I wouldn't be against a locust or something, or like a dog turning into like that. I honestly think we're not gonna get a new dog-like Pokemon because
My
we
favorite
have
one is Root. that
we
turns
have
into
Lillipup,
water
we
ice.
have
Sorry,
Herdier,
grass ice.
we have Lillipup, we have Herdier, we have stuff.
We're gonna have a new.
Although
we'll get a new
fighting
sheep Pokemon.
Fighting metal that
I
is
want
two
a new
sensors.
sheep. We
That
have to
might be
have
fun.
that.
Fighting metal as fencers would be interesting,
Especially
especially
with
if
all
it's...
the Scottish references, we have to have like.
Although
a Galar
the psychic
form.
psychic Pokemon that is a ghost Pokemon that's clock.
I can see that.
Like I
turns into
said,
Big Ben.
Cogsworth, Big Ben, something like that, you know?
Although I do like ground normal badger.
That'd be good. But yes,
I want to be able to replicate the wind and the willows on my team. I want the frog, the mole, the badger, and the rat.
But you're forgetting the best story to recreate. Thumbelina, where she almost gets raped by a frog and she has sexual relations with a bluebird that may or may not be French.
And we're not just talking about like the old myth. We're talking about the animated movie Thumbelina.
No, absolutely. Which we should totally watch.
No,
It's so
We
good.
own it.
It's so good.
We own it on VHS.
it sucked. Can I borrow it?
No, it's really old. I don't want you to break it.
I won't break it. It'll go right in my TV.
Any final thoughts on
Go right in my
on,
TV, right to
Sword
the
and Shield?
screen.
No armor evolutions. No gimmick evolutions. No gimmicks.
They're
Just
gonna
give
bring
us Pokemons.
something.
By gimmicks, you mean not having a faction style like it was like, hey, instead of like one big bad team, there's actually 4 ambiguously evil teams that you
We're
can
gonna make
join.
it just like Parliament. 12 ambiguously evil teams.
That'd be too much in like a
No,
game
but
for kids.
could you imagine like
I can
4
see
4
4.
groups that
I
like you
can
can
see
join
4.
one of
The
them
Welsh
or
group, the
stay-
English group, the Irish
I'd
group, or the
love-
Scottish group.
I'd
People
love
also
that.
saying
I'd
that
love to
Ireland
pick sides
is
for
off
once.
to the coast. Is off to the coast, and that's going to be your battle resort. Is Ireland?
I'd love for something like they did in
And you
Gen
could find
3
special
where you
Pokemon
pick a
only
side
there?
based on your game.
I think they need to bring back the Friend Safari.
That was cool.
Also,
It really like.
and
messed
if
some
you
stuff
can
up, I
read
think.
this, Game Freak, okay,
They're not
don't
listening.
get rid of bottle caps, but give us back super training. I want to be able to do both. Because
They're not gonna give both.
guess what? If you give us super training
It's okay.
and bottle caps, I don't have to gen Pokemon anymore that you'll never be able to catch because you'll never be able to tell.
But I do like the idea that you brought up of maybe Pokemon Sleep having the dream-based Pokemon.
Yes,
meaning
Pokemon Home and
we'll
Sleep
actually
were
be able to
revealed.
have. We'll finally be able to actually legitimately catch
Well,
those dream Pokemon.
Well, you
again.
can still get them legit by breeding them up, but that's such a pain.
Yeah,
'cause if the
you
dream-
have to actually put
If
time into
the
it.
dream Pokemon you caught wasn't female, you'll never be able to transfer that ability,
Yeah, which sucked.
which is dumb.
Like, it's why Dream Pokemon was a terrible idea, and then they put the
was
best
a
Pokemon
cool
in.
idea. Was a cool way to
With
do it. The problem
poor-
is
poor
that
planning
Sorry, it was a
and
cool
bad
idea with a poor
practice.
execution.
it was poor execution by making abilities transfer from the females.
Yeah.
So if you caught a Pokemon, you're like, wow, it's got a cool dream ability. I want to, breed this up for a better one. But it was a male. You're SOL. You can't get that special ability anymore. Which is why I gen.
You know what?
Genning is legal. Because
Here,
prove that I'll show you 2 different Pokemon that are both max level, max IV, max attack. Max IV is max EV, best ability, best nature, shiny Gardevoirs. I'll show you like the best. I'll show you both of them and be like, okay, one of these is Gen, figure out which.
The one that was probably the most recent because you had the copy from the other one. Or probably both, since you're talking about the competitive scene. Most likely they were both gen.
How can you tell?
Just by the demeanor of the people who had them.
That's not fair at all.
Why? You think that arrogant, that
People can be arrogant and actually work at it.
the arrogant people are like, yeah, my Pokemon, there's nothing wrong with my Pokemon. It's like, yeah. But
okay,
either way, like,
back
they'll
to
never
the
be
game.
caught.
We also need a new Robin Hood Pokemon
Honestly,
as
all they
well.
would have to do-
We have to Decidueye.
all they would have to do is basically go, all competitive games, we're putting it through, like, a new Pokemon Stadium that we're putting on the Switch as well.
Okay, Pokemon Home.
Yeah, basically be Pokemon Home. You would basically just...
Here's the thing. Even Pokebank doesn't catch gen Pokemon.
The idea that is like in Pokemon Home, it's like, oh, you could just like custom make whatever Pokemon you want. It's like, oh, that would be cool. I was like, but it's like you can't transfer it in or out of the Pokemon Bank though. Which apparently it can actually influence. You can actually bring Pokemon from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home.
That's how you have to do it from the DS.
Yeah.
You have to get Pokemon Home on your 3DS, transfer your Pokemon to Pokemon Bank, connect your Pokemon Bank to your Pokemon Home, transfer it to the Pokemon Home cloud save, and then from home you have to transfer it to Sword and Shield. That's how I'm going to be able to get all my shinies
Yeah.
in and have a shiny living dex up to Gen 8 right away.
Yeah.
So
But honestly, like at the end of the day, Pokemon is a game series that people like to play.
yes.
And as long as it's a fun game to play, with an interesting story and an interesting like plot narrative, people are gonna like it.
25 years almost.
It's cross.
And
it's
honestly,
multi-gen.
It has been multi-generation. I know people's grandchildren who are playing the games now.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. The two of us, we have a nephew now. What I want to do is I want to get a Charmander, a Bulbasaur, and a Squirtle plushie. I'm gonna give him all three, but I want to see which one he picks first.
Oh, I could do that.
Is
Oh,
the
he
thing.
would probably want to play with the hype-looking lizard more than any of the
We'll
other ones.
see. It might be the
Because it's
Bulbasaur
the
for
correct
all we
choice.
know.
I still love the
He
idea
has a preference
that
for
it's-
blue things, though, so we don't know.
How to tell if someone in my family would be disowned? You do that, and if I take anything with Charizard, adoption center.
No,
We
You're
let the weak genes die.
no,
No.
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 Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Well, anyway, that's about it for today.
Yeah.
See you-
We will we will let you know how many of these obviously dumb predictions won't come
I
true.
say only one.
One of the
It's the
things
dumb
Only one of them
One of
has
the
to come
things-
true. Only one of them has to come
one
true.
of the
for us to
things
feel
we
nice.
one of the things we mentioned
I bet you
today.
anything it will be the
Even
bug.
if it's not the right
It would be the
typing,
bug
if
ground
any
type.
of these come up, we'll be happy.
Oh, absolutely. I swear to God, if something comes up with the typings we mentioned,
Even if it's nowhere close to what we thought, it was something way dumber or way cooler than we thought. It's like, oh, we
if
missed
they
the
can
mark on
somehow
this
make
one.
a bug dragon work,
I bet you they could.
Instead,
bet
we're
you
gonna
that they
get a
could.
steel ground shovel.
Or a knob, or a...
dark steel scythe
I would like that.
for the farming Pokemon.
It's a
We will have to
Galar
see.
Honed. She just
It would
becomes a
fit the
shiny.
days.
yokai theme of
Why?
Pokemon, so...
2 days, guys. We will see you then.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.